Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay Guichard and I'm an online licensed marriage and family therapist and the creator of thetravelingtherapist.com. This week the topic is on heartbreak, and the speaker is someone who had experienced a pretty painful public heartbreak when she was 14 years old, and that experience led her to write an incredible speech and presentation on how to make sense out of heartbreak. At the beginning of her speech, the speaker talks about when she was 14 years old, she was riding in a cable car with her high school boyfriend who was her best friend. And she described how he looked over to her and he said, "I think we should break up." And this was a very full this was a pretty full cable car, so she actually had to endure this breakup in public. These are the lessons that she learned going through her personal heartbreak. 1, when heartbreak strikes, loved ones give you a break. She shares how that night when she got home, her piano lessons were canceled, and she shared they were never canceled. She tried and they were never canceled. She shared that her sister said that she didn't have to do the dishes that night. 2, when heartbreak strikes, we're able to obtain prolific solidarity. When we keep the memory of a heartbreak really close to us, when we say, "I can relate," the pain and the discomfort shows when we're trying to put our arms around a friend who's just experienced heartbreak. We learn how to help our friends or our family when they're experiencing heartbreak because we've been there. We learn that the best thing that we could do for them is to put an arm around their shoulder and to ask them, are they okay? And to let them cry on our shoulder, because that's what helped us when we were experiencing our first heartbreak. 3, some people might encourage us to let go of these strong emotions rather quickly. Our speaker encourages us to hold on to these strong emotions, not to throw them away, but to keep them in a toolbox for later use. 4, the speaker likes to view others and herself, others' life experiences as a quilt. She shares that when heartbreak strikes, it feels like our whole quilt is sad and soggy. But when our heart naturally begins to mend, that sadness, that sad square, that huge sad square of a quilt, the sadness starts to shrink back to its rightful place, which is just part of our life experience quilt. That memory of the person who rejected you, instead of it being a dark, gloomy, or a dark gray color, it naturally starts to go into a neutral gray color, along with the heart naturally mending itself. There's a couple of things that she talks about. She says self-reflection and interpersonal self-care will help increase the speed of the shrinking of that sad square. 5, the speaker shares that this pattern echoes itself in other devastating losses. And she shares if there's one thing that life guarantees is that we will experience more devastating losses. So she urges us to think of our first heartbreak as a rite of passage. She urges us to use the experience of the heartbreak to not only think of ourselves differently after heartbreak, but to actually think of ourselves as better because of it. If you would like to hear the story of my first heartbreak, I would encourage you to check out the link below where the full TED Talk is, and you can also see the full TED Talk for any other tidbits that I might have missed out of the speaker's goodness. If you live in California and you are looking for an online therapist, I would love to talk with you for a free connection call to see if we are a good fit. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.